Go. Let's see how it starts. Let's record this also in audio.
Say that once more.
Let's record all this also in audio.
Okay, great.
Okay. Hi, Joe.
How are you? Again, yes.
Thank you. It's been almost like 2 weeks since our first talk, and I made you a lot of questions then. And
Yes.
guess what?
More questions.
I have a lot more.
Great.
Good. In these 2 weeks, you work with young guys, women, adults, a lot of people.
Wide range.
Wide range. What are your impressions about those people and what you saw in general and about Mexican bowling?
But it was very interesting to me as a coach because even during the clinic topics that I was teaching, I would then go out of the room or go downstairs depending upon where I was, and I would see coaches, Mexican coaches, teaching a very specific style, which is 4 steps, long push away, and snap to the back, which is almost the antithesis of what I teach. So it was very interesting that I almost said, and I said to many, I said, you're going to be faced with laughter, you're going to be faced with criticism and harsh comments that it's incorrect what you're doing, and you just have to remember the ball is telling you what is right and what is wrong. And all of you saw more on the bowling ball than you've ever seen before. So I was struck by how it's interesting. It's like a convergence of an old way with some concepts, but there's no consistency of that approach with any real elite player in the world. So it's interesting how it's sustained itself culturally. It just sort of is.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I was struck by, was that really almost like a war, because the people that are going to move forward with what I taught them this week are going to have to battle people giving them an earful all the time, because their worldview of bowling is long push, 4 steps, and this. And it will be interesting to see what happens. I hope they will be strong enough. The results will come. I always say results are much stronger than words. I was I was very happy to see the enthusiasm by the players and coaches that were involved in the clinics, the true desire to get better, and everyone seemed to really resonate what I taught. And they said it was very logical to them, and they were very motivated to change. And it was exciting to see the improvement of the players.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I saw that too, and I was also amazed about the wide range of people that assist to the clinic, and they were willing to learn more, to improve. But one thing that we need to focus from here into the future is that people that were in the clinic,
yes,
are going to be pointed by other peers, people,
absolutely,
and coaches. And what would you tell them in 2 questions here? What would you tell the guys that were in the clinic and stay focused from what they learned from here and in the future?
Well, I think that's right. They have to be strong. And I said it several times, this is going to be a war. And in the end, the best method will endure. And once they go down the road, I always say, once you go through the door, I show you the other side. You're not going to want to come back. And the biggest thing is to remember what they saw in training in regards to the ball motion. Once you see that, it's the big motivation to change. And the irony is, I've already heard players when they've been bowling and training, is that they're seeing more ball reaction, they're seeing better. And they're not repeating yet, it takes time, and then yet people are saying, no, you can't do that. You're supposed to do this. But did you just see the ball go down the lane? There just seems to be, without really reflection, do this just because. You're supposed to look like this here. And when you look differently, like in anything else, you'll be ridiculed. But the ball, keep the focus on what the ball tells you. When you do it right, what does the ball tell you? Is it better or not? And the answer will push them in the direction. And I know the answer.
Yeah, for sure.
You saw it yourself, and the enthusiasm when they see that, it's like the carrot rather than the stick. You know, you're motivated because wow, I can see where I'm going to be.
Yeah, that's a fact. And what would you tell to the people that maybe are going to see this interview, saw the previous one, saw your videos, your work on the internet? What would you tell them here, those people in Mexico that didn't take the clinic with Alex regarding your system?
Well, I just think they missed an opportunity to learn something. The way that I approach bowling, I know, is incredibly different than other people teach. And I feel like my understanding has evolved over time so much. I remember I've been almost coaching 30 years now, and I remember the beginning and what I taught then and what I taught now and my understandings now. I really wish they had just come to give it a chance because, well, going back kind of this question and the last question, Ernesto Franco is a great example. He was a great player. And when I was at the Kegel Training Center, I worked with him. And he said it took about a year to make the beginning, the movement of the swing start change. But look at him now. And he's motivated to learn. He's a great example because he's coachable. He's a great talented player, but he's very coachable and humble. And there are a lot of people, it seems, that they are not humble. They believe that you have to go backwards to go forwards, and I don't believe that. I think you'll see that your bow motion will get better immediately because you understand why. And unfortunately, if you didn't take the course, you won't understand. And the approach is energy transfer from you to the bowling ball. And once you go down that path of understanding, I don't think you can come back because everything else just seems incomplete. No justification or rationale. It just seems sort of what I call just because.
Yeah.
Do this just because, rather than this cause and effect sequence of energy transfer. I understand now why, and I see it. And I understand when I do it correctly, this is why I get more on the bowling ball. And I understand what I was told is a lie. It might be held as truth in people's minds,
Yeah.
but it's an absolute lie when it comes to reality. So you missed an opportunity to understand bowling in a very different way. And maybe in the future you'll take that opportunity, but I know what happens. Two things happen wherever I go. There's a group of people that are firm believers and they start doing well. And then some people see it and they want to know more. And there's a group that continues to be critical and complain. And I just received a note from a player from Bulgaria today. The Bulgarian players I've worked with have won every one of the national tournament stops so far, the 3. And there were people telling the player today that he's worse now than he was before. And we've won the big 4 tournaments in a row. 2 players won twice. The original guys I started working with in Bulgaria. Mm-hmm. And yet people are saying, oh, he's not a good coach. You're better than you're worse than you were before. It just doesn't add up. It's like delusion in a way. I just try to work hard and make people understand bowling. If they just try it, they'll see what happens.
Yes. It's funny that you said minutes ago that elite players, PBA, European guys, do something that you see over the YouTube and in the TV. You saw something, and you will teach in a way that is completely different. You saw Mike Fagan do the front face, do some stuff that you already teach.
Yeah, I mean, I think my working at the training center, there were things that I brought in there that the other coaches adopted, and we had many discussions. We didn't teach exactly the same concepts, They were similar. And then I started, when I was watching and really